everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be trying out something that I thought was super cool. As you know, Facebook, Instagram, all kinds of places have these crazy ads all over the place for really interesting products, whether they be, for beauty, clothing, art materials, and all that. And sometimes I get suckered in, especially when they're inexpensive, because I'm really interested to see if they work. And I cannot remember what this one was called. I want to say it was called the Scorch Marker, and it was supposed to be a wood-burning pen. Now, I wanted to see if I could find it literally anywhere else besides ordering it off of a website that I didn't know or trust. So I ended up heading over to Amazon and typing in pyrography marker or scorch marker or something to that effect, and ended up finding something like that. So this is just a pyrography marker. Basically, the way that it looks like it's supposed to be used, and according to the very simple directions written right on the side, is all you have to do is shake it kind of like a paint pen, and it kind of distributes some sort of wet, I don't know, maybe chemical over a piece of wood, and when you apply heat to it, it burns it, much like you would be able to burn with a wood burning tool. So I wanted to see if I could create a mini piece of wood burning art without actually using my wood burning tool. In my experience with wood burning, the most frustrating thing is filling in large, dark areas, which I think this would be absolutely amazing to do. I love using the wood burning tool for creating lines, which is why in my last piece of wood burning art, I did create a single line drawing of a bird. And I thought that that was absolutely gorgeous, and I loved being able to do that. I thought it was very therapeutic. Filling in large spaces, though, does take a whole lot of time. So I would love to be able to use something like this, and I thought to be able to test that, I should pick a very thick, mostly black design, and for that I'm going to do kind of like a monogrammed piece of art. I printed out a Q for my last name, it's Quinn, if you didn't know. I wanted to see if I could maybe make a little piece of art where I had the Q, the big thick block Q in the middle, and I wanted to see if I could do like an embedded, I don't know what I'm trying to say, kind of like script font inside of it to kind of test how precise we can get with it. And maybe, like some olive branches on the top and bottom just for a little bit of added pizzazz. So what I've done is I have scribbled all over the back with a bunch of graphite from my Ticonderoga Noir pencil, because I cannot stop talking about it for whatever reason. And I'm just going to center it on my wood here and transfer the shape down so that I have an idea of where I need to apply all of the marker. Now I'm actually going to erase the center of this and make my little script markings and do the wreath on either side, top and bottom, just to kind of add a little bit of pizzazz. And I'm going to do that in a hyperlapse and come back to finally get started with the marker. Here is the design I've decided to go with. I actually quite like it, and I'm really excited to get started. Now, it doesn't actually sound when I shake it like anything happens. It says that I'm supposed to sand this, which it is sanded, and it is good to go. It's prepped and ready. Shake marker and apply design. Now, in paint markers, I feel like, I guess you do kind of hear it. You just have to really shake it hard, I guess. So yeah, it does sound like there's liquid moving around in there, and apply to the design, and it says I only need a small amount. So I wonder, I'm kind of nervous actually about how thick it's gonna come out. It's got this like pointed tip for a lot of detail, and the wide bit, like chiseled bit, so that I can fill in the wider areas. And I think because of the size of this, that won't be too bad. I feel like it might need to be a little bit bigger when using larger pieces. And it does look like in here, you can kind of see that the liquid is like a dark brown amber color. So hopefully I'll actually be able to see it when it comes out. It's definitely like a paint marker. You kind of gotta stab it a couple of times. Give it a good shake. Once it dampens the paper, I'll be able to move over, but I really don't want to mess this up on the actual piece. Right, it looks like it's started kind of coming out this way, which is kind of strange. And I do see a little bit of color coming in through the tip, which is exciting. Come on. It's almost there, buddy. Okay, something just came shooting out. Okay. Interesting. It almost looks like hot sauce. Okay, I got my hairdryer and I don't know, I really thought this was gonna smell really badly, but it doesn't seem to, so that's kind of nice. I guess we'll just kind of do a little squash and draw down one of these edges. Now, I am not certain if I have to press down a little bit every time, but I'm afraid it's not like coming out the right way. Like it's not drawing as nicely as I would like it to, I think. Okay, I think I got it. And I do want to fill in. It does say it's non-toxic, which is great. I do like that. That makes me a little less nervous to be using this because I know it feels like it should be more dangerous than it is, really, I guess. Okay, they do seem fully darkened. I'm so nervous. All right, I'm gonna cap this just because that seems safe. And let's do the hairdryer thing. Yeah, I mean, I guess that worked. It'll probably be more noticeable if I do the Q or something wider, but I think it worked even with the hairdryer. Sorry, that angle was kind of bad, but yeah, I guess let's do the rest. I'm gonna hyperlapse through this and come back with my thoughts once we are done. All right, so I'm about halfway through. I finished the Q mostly, and I kind of wanted to point some things out. So this is about the color it looks like as soon as it goes on. It's like this really bright yellow, which is good and noticeable enough on the light wood. Now, what's interesting to me is this up here was the same color, if not maybe this like orangey color when it came out, when I first put it down. And now it's darkened. So I have to wonder if this has anything to do with heat, or if the heat just speeds it up, the drying process, and this is just what happens when it dries, and when it dries, it darkens the wood. So I'm not sure about that, I just kind of wanted to point it out. And I have actually noticed a little bit, and I hope you can see it, some bleeding up here through the veining of the wood, which again, don't totally love. And I'm also kind of nervous about some of the like thicker bits, like down here. I think this is just because it's got this like spot on it, but where the like liquid is a little bit thicker, if when I apply the heat to it, specifically from the hairdryer, if it's going to blow all over the place and if that is dangerous in any way, but it doesn't say, so I guess let's just let's hair dry this and see what it looks like now before finishing up the details. Well, there it is, the finished piece, and honestly, I like it. I think this was only like $7, which I think is a really great deal, honestly. I feel like there are a couple things that I do wish I could do here that I obviously don't really have the ability to, and I feel like one of the most exciting parts about the wood burning is, one, that it's kind of therapeutic to be doing as you're, you know, continuing through the process, but it's also just the texture of it is what makes it so cool. And that's not something you get with this. It's all completely flat still. And I feel like maybe if I took, like I've done in the past, like a dark pen or something and kind of created the divots around the outside, I think that this might elevate it for me a little bit. I couldn't resist. I added some outlines and some really dark black marks and fine lines with a black ink pen, and I think it really actually makes it look more like traditional wood burning, and I do get a little bit of that texture, still not as much as you might have with traditional wood burning, but I do think the look is there, and Percy absolutely loves it, as you can tell by how interested she is in the wood. So yeah, I definitely think that it's really easy to make this work in a cost-effective way to get the look of wood burning without the time, the crazy long amount of time, as well as without having to spend a lot of money on fancy, you know, tops, nibs, I don't even know what you would call them, engravers maybe, none of those fancy shapes. And yeah, I mean, Pilot G2 pen is $2. This is $7. You know, grab a couple of these wood bits. I think I got like a stack of 5 of these from Goodwill for $1, so for 11 bucks, you know, you've got some really cool things on your hands, and they look like they took a lot of time and effort, especially if you put a lot more thought and effort into your design than I did here today. So that is all I had for you. I wanted to thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe. I put out new videos every Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time, and I would love for you to be here for the next one. Thanks again so much, and I hope to see you then. Bye!